Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream today. Happy Tuesday, and my name is Alex, and I'm welcoming you all to our live stream here this morning. I am about to turn it over to Linda, who is in our studio, and today we are talking about a pattern from So Confident Series 13 this year. It is called the bamboo, and we have made it in a couple of different ways throughout this year. If you're a So Confident member, you're familiar with this project from the month of February. We have some great new fabrics we're going to talk about and showcase with the bamboo, along with some other projects we, of course, have made along the way. But in the meantime, I just wanted to announce a couple of things. We are in a new month, so happy December. We are emerging into the final weeks of 2024 and, of course, getting ready for 2025. So, first things first, our new project for the month of December as a So Confident member is the Deja Vu. We have just released this pattern. It is, of course, a vault pattern. Linda's going to show it and talk about it here in a little bit more detail. But if you're a So Confident member for 2024, this is a free pattern. So you can actually now go to your course page and locate all of the pattern files, the instructions, the home printer pattern, the international size, and the other size, whatever the other size is. And also note that when you download these things, we can still print it for you at the sewing workshop. So even though this pattern is free, we can still print it for you. So if you go to our PDF printing option at sewingworkshop.com, then you can select the Deja Vu and we'll just charge you for the printing of the Deja Vu pattern. If you don't want to print it out at home, you can select that pattern specifically and just pay for the printing and access the free pattern. But you can also just print out the pattern at home with your own printer if you choose to do that. But just for you guys to know, again, you can select the Deja Vu for printing in our in-house printing service. So the Deja Vu is ready for you to look at, to download, and we'll be talking about it more throughout the month of December. And we also have, for So Confident members, our virtual sip and sew. It's coming up Friday, December 13th at 12 p.m. So this is our kind of final hurrah end of the year party. We've been doing this for a few years. It's always a lot of fun. So your Zoom link is in your course page. Your free pattern is in the course page. So check out everything for the Deja Vu in your December course page, and you'll be getting emails and things along the way this month, of course, as well. We also have So Confident 2025 coming up, so we will be talking about it more as, of course, the weeks and days move into the new year. But if you are interested and want to learn more about So Confident 2025, we've done a couple live streams on it. We have information on the website, and I think Linda's going to talk about it here in a minute as well. So let's hand it over to Linda and say hi.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you this morning. Either I'm hard of hearing or we didn't say it, but this Deja Vu in your course page relates to So Confident 2024. So it's not a free pattern to everyone in the whole world. You have to have been a member of So Confident 2024. But here is this garment, which is quite interesting, I think. I've always loved this. It's like a wrap, and it's one pattern piece. So I actually suggest that you pay us to print it for you because it is a lot. It's one very long. How long is it? Did you tell me yesterday? It's 184 inches long because it's one pattern piece. And much like origami, it gets folded. There's a pleat in the back. All kinds of interesting things happen. But what I think is interesting is the right arm's eye opening is what I call horizontal. And the left one is vertical. Now, the pattern comes with pockets. You can make them or not make them or put patch pockets on it, whatever you want to do. This one doesn't have any pockets, probably because of the fabric. But when it's on you, it looks like this great wrap. So when we have our little party, we're going to be showing a lot of really cool fabrics that we think you can make this in. So, Deja Vu. It's called the Deja Vu because this was one of the original patterns at Sewing Workshop 35 years ago. And it was called the cocoon coat. And then we brought it back out and we just renamed it Deja Vu, thinking about the older name. So that is the Deja Vu. You're going to be getting it anytime, apparently. We thought it was Friday, but I think it's like anytime. So look in your course page. There you go. All right, I'm going to sit back down. So today we are featuring a fabric called Wool Challis. And it made me think about my sewing history and what I used to sew with. And I, much like many of you, I grew up with pure fabrics. And what I mean by that is I sewed on pure wool, pure cotton, pure silk, pure linen, and thought nothing of it. And then in my lifetime has come the blends, the wool and rayon, the silk and linen, and polyesters and acrylics and all of those different fibers. It's changed our whole world of what we have access to, what we as purveyors of fabric can buy and resell to you. Everything has changed. But every once in a while, we'll get one of those great, what I call old fabrics back. And Wool Challis is one of them. So if you're not familiar with Wool Challis, it's a very soft, lightweight, can be somewhat semi-sheer, plain weave fabric that's made of wool, mostly, rayon, cotton, or poly blends. It's usually printed in small floral patterns. We think of it as mostly like a man's tie that might be a paisley. That's a typical pattern for Wool Challis. It was originally manufactured in Norwich, England in 1832 in silk and wool, or worsted they called it, which is wool, of course. I don't know when that kind of changed into pure wool, challis, and all of that, but at least we know that the origin was 1832, which is a pretty long time ago, now that I think about it. We think of it as a fabric that can be made for top weight things like tops and blouses. It's rare that we use it for like pants. It's a little bit, I wouldn't call it a delicate fabric, but it certainly, I don't think would hold up as pants. But it would make a great skirt or a dress. Now, Alex, I think, has a picture of a willow blouse, lengthened, there it is right there, lengthened as a dress. So Wool Challis would make a really great fabric to use for the willow dress. All right, let's see. If you're wanting to use a Wool Challis as, let's say, a jacket fabric, and you want it to have a little heavier hang, because Wool Challis is, fairly billowy. It drapes, but it's a different kind of drape. So I would consider lining it or underlining it, either one, for a jacket, or any jacket, for example. We would use Bemberg rayon as a lining, or China silk, or really anything that has a bit of a slickness. Could have some shine, could be matte, whatever. But whenever you line or underline something, you want to use something that your other garment underneath it doesn't attach to, and you're fighting that. It's really easy to care for. I would dry clean it, but it is washable. But you want to wash it delicately, and I probably wouldn't dry it. So you could hand wash it. You could wash it in cool or warm temperature, and just be careful with it. But it's a great fabric to just wear anywhere, even traveling, because it doesn't wrinkle. It behaves really well. They tend to be darker colors. Now, the minute I say that, I'm going to find one that's white and off-white. But for the most part, they are rich, darker, deeper colors, and have some kind of pattern printed on it. And so it disguises a few things. It's nice. And it's easy to sew. Speaking of sew, it's really easy to sew. It's not like prickly, or doesn't, stitches don't skip, doesn't like creep on you. It just sews. It just sews like cotton or linen or something like that. So we are featuring one pattern today, the bamboo top, which is from the vault. And I don't remember the year now. Whenever we do a video, we tell you the year, but I've already forgotten because it's been almost a year ago that we did the video on it. But it was the February project of last year. We're so confident. So first of all, you're going to get a taste of the kind of thing that we do in So Confident. If you're on the fence about 2025, you can get an idea of the quality and how we present things and the kinds of projects that we do put out there. So pay attention for that. So I'm going to show you a bamboo top in Wool Challis. So this is the Wool Challis. This is not, there is a paisley to it. It's a little hard to pick up, but there is a paisley as part of the print. So this is a very typical Wool Challis. But the bamboo top has some interesting features. First of all, it has this overlay. And it has this signature welt pocket, which we're going to talk about in a second. Has a band down here with buttons. So the buttons extend all the way. 3 of them are not on a band, and 3 of them, or 4 of them are. No, it's 3 of them. That's right. Then a simple hem, simple neckline. The back has these pleats at the shoulders that create this billow in the back. The sleeves are pretty traditional, although it's a 2-piece sleeve. And what I like about it is the vent at the cuff is all part of a seam. So it's a different way to construct a cuff. And I think you'll find it much easier than the traditional placket and strip and all that stuff. So it's an easy make and an easy sew with the Wool Challis. So I'm going to bring in Erin, who has on another one that was the project for February. Now, for those of you who don't know, we put out kits as part of So Confident. Every month we have 1 or 2 or 3 kits. And this was one of the kits.
Hello.
So this is a, not a Wool Challis, but it is kind of a challis. It's a rayon, we'll call it a rayon challis. How about that? But it has the kind of drape that a challis, oh, there's beautiful pictures of her. You don't have to turn around.
Oh, good.
So I got a picture of you turned around. But you can see how the shape is created by those pleats at the shoulder. And this is a special print that we used for one of the kits. And I remember it had something to do with sort of an Asian street scene, something like that. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe Alex does.
Right. Kind of downtown lights of
downtown signs and lights and streets and yeah.
Tokyo skyline.
There you go. Good. All right. So, but I love the shape. You know, it's you cut things straight, but when you add pleats and various elements to it, then it changes the shape, and it comes down on the sides, down in the back, and you see this beautiful drape right here. So no, that is not supposed to be straight across the bottom.
Oh, I love the pleat. I think it's a little unexpected since it's in the back.
Some people leave the pleat off, but I think it's somewhat essential in the whole shape of things. Well, if you don't know how it looks, then you would look at the pattern maybe and think, oh man, I don't need that that thing on my hips or something like that. But that's not what happens.
Right. You might think it's too much, but I think that's what really makes the garment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
All right.
That's the first of the things she's going to wear. I think we're going to give you another little tidbit here. So the welt pocket, it's a vertical welt pocket. It's one pattern piece. And we're going to give you about a 4 or 5 minute look at part of a tutorial that we did for So Confident 2024 in February. And we're going to give you a little suggestion of how to make this pocket. I want you to look at it for 2 reasons. You'll learn something when you look at the technique, but you'll also understand that this is very typical of what we do for So Confident on a monthly basis. We have lots of techniques for you, and and you'll see how it's presented. So, Alex, can we do that? To make the welt pocket on the bamboo top, you start by placing a little bit of interfacing on the wrong side of the pocket. This piece is about 2 inches by 6 inches, just enough to cover this rectangle where the welt will be. I've also marked this rectangle on the wrong side of the pocket, and I marked it on the right side of the overlay. So when I stitch this, you can see that I started in the center of a long line rather than at a corner. You want to protect these corners so that there's no interruption in the stitching. So ultimately this gets cut off. And when I do the ends, I count the stitches so that this is an equal distance rectangle. And I remember that I counted over 4 stitches at the top and 4 stitches at the bottom. So the next thing I do is cut this open. And this is always kind of a scary moment, I have to say. But use some sharp trimming scissors, start it in the center, and then you're going to cut down the center to about 3/8 of an inch from the top. And then you're going to cut diagonally to each corner. And you want to be really aggressive about this and get to the corner. And that, you can see, is why we don't want to interrupt our stitches at the corner. I always have to kind of hold my breath when I do this because it's kind of scary. All right. Now that allows you to push the pocket through to the back side. And the next thing I do is press these little seams open. And I do that using a point presser. I always have a little trouble getting these seams started because they're so little. It's so much easier, though, to do it on a point presser. So the work is up and out of the way, and you're not pressing something that you don't want to press. Do the other side. It's time to get rid of this. So this is the side that's closest to the center front that actually gets pressed flat right now. And if anything, you want to favor the overlay, but really you want it just kind of perfect. And you can go ahead and press these angled or straight across parts at the top and the bottom. Get a nice squared off end here, both ends. Now the next part is the part that is the most important, so you really need to pay attention and be careful. So this gets folded. There are some markings, and you want to fold this fabric in such a way that it fills that opening. So this fold is butted up to this edge that you've just pressed. All right, that was probably half of what that video is. If you want to know how to finish the pocket, we ask you to take a look at, Alex, help me on this. Is it first quarter, So Confident 2024?
Yes, the Bamboo Top online workshop is available, and that's where you have the whole video about making the bamboo. So that was just a portion of part 1 of a video of making the welt pocket from the video.
Yeah. So that's typical of our technique teaching, and we hope you like that. So you'll want to sign up for more. I do repeat myself a little bit through the year, but I always have to repeat myself all the time because I don't remember what I did a month ago. So it's okay to see something more than once. All right. So in addition to the bamboo as we know it, we have a variation that I think is wonderful. And we turn it into a knit top. And Erin is going to be wearing this now. So here she is, the original photography, front and side and back. So many of the elements are still in this piece, but not everything. It's been pared down a little bit. So for instance, you find the center front, which is always where the buttons are placed, if you're unsure about where a center front is. And that is what's put on the fold, so you don't have a separation in the, why don't you show Erin here? She's got it on. There we go. So it's a smooth front now, and it's made just like a t-shirt, although I put the band on this and it's wider than a normal half an inch. It's almost an inch. But, and I did the two-piece sleeve, but no cuff. But the important pleats are still in it. So you still get the shape. And I just think this is really, we all should be making this right now. I think it's 19 degrees here or something like that this morning.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for today.
Similar to what I would put on this morning.
Yeah, that's
actually.
right. That's right. But I think this wider neckline is kind of interesting. We normally are putting a smaller neckline on it, but I think when a garment feels soft, and I don't want to say the word bulky because it isn't, but it's a heavier weight knit. So you want to widen that strip if you can. That doesn't always work, by the way. Sometimes it just won't lie down well, but that one does. And for some reason, I cut that on the, I guess I cut it on the horizontal, but I'm almost thinking I could have cut it differently, and so that the little ribs went up and down, but whatever. You know, we always overthink it after we're finished with it.
It had a different stretch, maybe. Sometimes that makes a difference.
This doesn't have tons of stretch, does it?
Not going the other direction.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's the variation. And tell me again where they find the variation.
We do have a variation tutorial for just this pullover, and that'll be in this week's sale. You can find that and I'm sure somebody will link it in the comments as well.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, if you want to make that, you have access to how to do it. Well, let's look at some fabrics. We have well, let's do one more thing here so I can get these out of the way. So we talked about the overlay. It is certainly possible to not do an overlay. Just delete it. You have a little bit of construction to deal with on that, but it's certainly possible. The welt pocket in this case was put down low, and a different kind of pocket, but the construction technique of making the welt and all of that are absolutely the same. And of course, the famous pleats are there. So you can leave the overlay off, you can lengthen it to any length, make it a tunic, make it a dress, whatever. Okay. So we have a combination here of the wool challis that we have, and then we put in some lightweight sweater type things to go with the challis. So let's start over here. This is a wool challis. Some of these, it's a little bit tricky to know. This has a bit of a crepey texture to it, which is even an easier sew. So if it's a wool crepe, that's a little different than a wool challis. But whichever, this has all the properties of a wool challis. And I love it. It has both a vertical and a horizontal motif to it. Now, this is another fabric that we've been without for a long time. And finally, we're seeing it again, and that's wool jersey. So this is a beautiful lipstick red wool jersey. And for those of you who know about what we do with wool jerseys, and we wash them and felt them and all that, these are not the kind that do that. If you're looking for a wool jersey that will shrink and felt, that has to be pure, regular wool. If you see the word merino wool, it won't shrink. And that's what this is. But it's very luxurious and has a gorgeous drape. So that'd make a wonderful, well, it would make a bamboo top as we know it, or it would make the top, what do you call that? Pullover. Yes, thank you. All right, another wool challis. In a very typical floral, those rich dark colors, the background. This to me looks so typical of wool challis. This has a very, very, very fine crepey texture to it. None of these are particularly sheer yet that we've run into. I don't know. I don't think one of these might be, but I'm not sure. And then we have this really interesting, we've used this for pants, and it does have a little rib to it. And when I say rib, I shouldn't say rib because it's not raised. It's a little indentation, a little line. But this is very similar to what Erin had on. And it's just really beautiful. So you could make pants out of this, or you could make the regular bamboo, or you could make the pullover. Then we have this, which up close looks like cross stitch. I might get these off the wall in a minute so you can see them better. But it has this sort of abstract puzzle-like design to it in a red orange, a blue orange, and a couple of grays. But when up close, it looks like you're either weaving, hand woven, or cross stitch, or some sort of handwork. Then we had another fabric on the bottom that just sold. So we have a 2-yard piece left. I think this looks very Asian. It's not from Japan, but make sure I have the right side here. I'm not sure you can tell the right side and wrong side of this. I'd have to study it a little bit more, but you can see the drape. So this is the piece. Now the bamboo takes 2.5. This is 2 yards. If you're interested in it for the bamboo, then you might delete the overlay, make it short sleeve, something else. But of course, it would make any blouse, like the Liberty shirt, be gorgeous in a lot of different blouses, or it'd be good to mix with other things as well. So 2-yard piece, the first person who finds it, it's there. It's yours. All right. I'm in love with this. I think for about 35 years, I've been saying that animal prints will go out of style. I don't say that anymore because they never go out of style. So this is a lightweight sweater knit in a sort of leopard print. This would be soft and cozy. It'd make a Barcelona. It'd make a bamboo. It would make the cardigan, or not the cardigan. Oh, by the way, cardigan. I was reading something today that the trend now is to wear a cardigan backwards, so it buttons up the back. Just thought I'd tell you that in case you dress in the dark. Okay, so lightweight sweater knit made out of a blend. See what I'm saying? We don't know what it is. It's probably rayon and poly and spandex or something like that. All right, this one I'm pretty crazy about. There's no real motif to this. It's all very abstract, but I love this fuchsia and gray and gold. And then the background's kind of a dark green and a neutral. This is all wool. Put it with a nice neutral that has a little bit of a green to it. This is a lightweight sweater knit. Polyester and rayon and elastic. There's all kinds of words for spandex. Spandex, elastic, they're all the same, just different brands. Now this happens to be the very same fabric as the red shirt that Erin had on, the red cardigan. This is the one that has the raised rib. So this has a nice, heavier drape to it. Rayon, nylon, and polyester, and spandex. And this one, what a great stripe. And thankfully it's vertical. People like vertical stripes. But I'm crazy about this one. This looks like a hand-loomed, it's printed, but it looks like a hand-loomed piece of cloth. And that is all wool. And then I also think that French terries would make either one of the pieces, particularly the cardigan. So you have the loops on the back side and the smooth sides on the face. And this is bamboo, bamboo rayon, there you go. And cotton and spandex. So those are our fabrics. Hey, Alex, do we have any questions?
Linda, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Tremont jacket as a vest. And I'm wearing the ET with long sleeves. And I'm wearing Picasso pants and our famous poly blend fabric, and I'm wearing sneakers and socks.
And is your Tremont lined?
I'm sorry?
Is your Tremont lined?
No, it's not. I've lined a couple of Tremonts. I've lined one and I've underlined one, but this one is not. This had enough drape to it, I think, that I didn't feel the need to do that. But if you want to clean up the interior of a fabric for any reason, or if you want it to hang differently, I consider underlining it or lining it.
Can you show the Deja Vu again and show the pleats in the, I think, the back or the shoulder?
Of the bamboo?
The Deja Vu.
Deja Vu, okay. I wonder if they can see it better in that one over there. Maybe, yeah. This one has a little bit of a fur. Instead of the normal wide binding around it, I put a piece of fur on it. But here's the back pleat in the Deja Vu. It starts up here. It's a little bit on the diagonal. And then it, oh, there's a pin in here. I wonder what we were doing with that. Fitting it on somebody, I guess. Anyway, the pleat extends to the bottom, but it gets narrower as you go down. We're going to be showing a lot of Deja Vus at our party in December. So I hope you'll attend that so you can see all the different fabrics that we've used and the fabrics that we recommend.
Would you say that wool challis irritates the skin for anyone who is sensitive?
You know, I'm the classic person who cannot stand anything that scratches me. And even some linens do that for me. So I'm very sensitive to it. And wool challis don't do that for me. They are really so fine and so lightweight that I don't find them to be scratchy. Now, if you want to eliminate that, you might want to do a separate lining. And I say separate because I don't know that I would underline this piece. I certainly wouldn't underline the overlay because it doesn't touch anywhere. Well, it does touch around the neck, I guess. So there's some things you could do. You could line the back and the front and the sleeves. You could, if something irritates you mostly around the neck, you could put like a silk binding around the neck. But honestly, I haven't had any trouble. Wool challis are very, very good in that regard.
And Betsy did leave a comment and made a good point. We are very happy to send out samples to anyone who wants to just, feel the fabrics, wash them. So you can always call us or email us and we can just send samples to you anytime.
Okay.
Is the red wool jersey heavier or lighter than the green merino wool jersey?
Lighter or heavier than what now?
Than the green merino wool jersey.
Well, we don't have a green wool jersey up here. This is the only wool jersey. If you're thinking of this is the rib knit, like Erin had on in this. This is the texture. We do have a green wool jersey. Here, bring it over here, I guess. And I think we have another color too. So we do have, I think, 3 colors of wool jersey, and they are all the same weight. We got them in together from the same manufacturer. So here's the green one, and Erin is looking for the other one. One of the advantages of building a studio down here is that everything's handy now. Well, yeah, then there's a gray. So the red, the green, and the gray are all the same weight, very lightweight. Now, if you wanted to get it a little bit heavier, you could probably wash this and maybe get it to shrink a little bit and close up and make it less sheer or lightweight. But I can't guarantee that without doing it.
Can we see the top fabric? I think perhaps the animal print.
Sure. Let me get myself situated here a little bit. There we go. Okay, sweater knit. You can see the back of it maybe, so you know it's printed. Well, I thought we could. Maybe not. Yeah, so it's definitely a sweater knit. Lots of stretch. But lots of recovery too.
As far as yardage for the Deja Vu, in our pattern, we suggest for either 45-inch or 60-inch wide fabric, 3 yards size small, 3.5 size medium, 4 yards size large.
Now, let me tell you something about this. There's not much you can do about how this is laid out. It's one very long pattern piece. It looks like a rectangle, but it's not. There are edges sliced off and all of that. But you can't get it out of less yardage. What you can do, though, is get a second Deja Vu out of it, because this only takes up half of a width, but a long strip on the lengthwise grain of the fabric. And you have a whole second, the ability to do a second Deja Vu on the other side of the width. So make one for you and make one for your mother. Am I not right about that? Erin said I shouldn't have said that.
Because when you print it out, it's just as wide as the 36-inch long paper. So that means it would be, double that.
All right, just maybe ignore what I just said. I've been telling people that for years, but no, maybe not. Sorry about that.
I wonder if you're thinking of the helix, because the helix is narrower, and you can get sometimes.
I'm thinking of the helix instead of
double,
the Deja Vu.
Right? But at least for I know the large, like on the printout, it's 36 inches wide. It's like maybe actually like 35 3/4. Like it's tight on there.
Yeah.
So that would be, maybe in a small you could get, but you still couldn't do it in a small.
Never mind. Forget that whole thing. Wish we could cut that out of this video, but it's already out there. So
it's a fun pattern, though.
You could still make one for you and your mother, but you just have to get more fabric.
That's right.
Right, true.
But yeah, you can't cheat on the length. Right?
True.
I can say that.
True. You can't. Yes. You need all that. You need all that fabric.
You need all that fabric. Yeah. But it is generous. I will say that. Erin and I could probably wear any size that's on the rack, from small to large.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of ease.
Would a medium weight linen be too stiff for the bamboo?
No, we have a few made in stiffer fabrics. We have one that we've been looking for, and we'll find it by December, whatever, that's made out of a pretty stiff silk, like a file, a silk file. And it's just another shape, but it works great.
Okay, I don't see any more questions.
Okay. Well, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving holiday, and getting charged up for the next one that seems like it's tomorrow. But thanks for joining.